Bhagavan very rarely spoke English, and in the 1940s, after the publication of Paul Brunton's book, many seekers from the West started showing up. Interpreters were required to help them converse with Bhagavan. Devaraja Mudaliar, Munagala Venkatramayya, and many others played the role of translators. Once, Bhagavan made a remark, which not only Mudaliar, but other devotees too have told me about. All others interpret when I talk. Only Devaraja Mudaliar translates exactly what I say. I spent hours listening to Devaraja Mudaliar's narrations about his time with Bhagavan. It was music to my ears, and also a part of my sadhana to listen to stories of his relationship with the Guru. Mudaliar told me, Bhagavan never expressed strong views on ethical or worldly matters, save two exceptions. One was his total disapproval of non-vegetarian food, and the other was his dislike for external renunciation, donning the ochre robe, shaving the head, taking on another name, and taking sannyas. In 1936, while seated in the hall in the presence of Bhagavan, Mudaliar strongly felt that Bhagavan would like him to be a vegetarian. Though Bhagavan did not actually say this to him, he sensed it. However, he also remembered that he had anemia, for which Dr. Guruswami Mudaliar had advised him to eat plenty of meat, eggs, and liver soup. Mudaliar was frank enough to admit, I was also very fond of non-vegetarian food, and here, seated in front of my Guru, this strong urge comes that Bhagavan wants me to be a vegetarian. Faced with this dilemma, he went up the hill with Bhagavan and told him, Bhagavan, I feel your influence on me to be a vegetarian, but this is my medical condition. Bhagavan smiled and told him, vegetarian food contains all that is necessary for health and strength. Mudaliar was very happy to hear this and replied, I have courage now, Bhagavan, to embark on this eating experiment. I know I can live even on thin air if you said it is enough to support me. By sheer grace, he said his health did not suffer at all from the change in diet, nor did he experience any craving later. Once, Mudaliar clarified for me the difference between faith and belief. Belief is a thought. I believe in Christianity, though I am a Hindu. Faith is complete. There is no question of accepting or rejecting. What do you mean by that? I asked. He replied, Ganesan, if Bhagavan had shown me a crow and said, here is a white crow, I swear I would have seen only a white crow. No contrary thought would have crossed my mind. I would never have thought that I have never heard of a white crow, that it is impossible, or question why Bhagavan said so. It is not accepting, because belief is thinking, yes, when the Guru says so, then it must be a white crow. But faith is seeing only that white crow. The approach of Devaraja Mudaliar was that of one who surrenders. In surrender, there is no me. The me has belief, and me can never know what faith is. With the thought of me, we would have tried to delve into the white crow logic and said, this is nonsense. Bhagavan would never have said that, or something to that effect. The other precious teaching that Mudaliar has given us is the answer to the age-old confusion of every spiritual seeker about destiny and free will. Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, and other Eastern religions generally believe in destiny. You are now a woman because you were destined to be a woman, not because you have chosen it. That is destiny. Whether you are wealthy or poor is destiny. But if everything is destined, then why should we do any spiritual sadhana at all? This was a dialogue between Mudaliar and Bhagavan. One day, I can understand, Bhagavan, that the external factors in a man's life, such as his nationality, family, profession, marriage, death, etc., are all predestined according to his karma. But can it be that his entire life, down to the minutest detail, is already predetermined? Now, for instance, Bhagavan, I have put this fan in my hand down on the floor. Is this also already predetermined? Bhagavan replied very firmly, certainly, whatever this body is to do and whatever experiences it has to pass through is already determined when it comes into existence. Mudaliar did not stop. He put forth further questions. What becomes then of man's freedom and responsibility for his actions? Bhagavan, looking graciously at Mudaliar, answered, the only freedom man has is to strive for and acquire jnana,
wisdom which will enable him not to identify himself with the body. Man is free to free himself from body identification, and that is the only freedom he has. Identified with the body, man has no freedom from destiny at all. The body will go through all the actions already enjoined to it to be done. Just the thought, I do not identify with the body, is not enough, because it is merely another thought. This is why we have to do sadhana. To cut off our identification with the body, we must have jnana by being steady in the heart. Devotees and seekers often talked about the importance of Arunachala hill, going around it, and staying in its vicinity. At various times, Mudaliar asked Bhagwan the significance of going around the hill. Bhagwan once said, "Going around the hill is very good for everybody. It does not even matter whether one has faith in this pradakshina or not. Just like the fire will burn all who touch it, whether they believe it or not, likewise the hill will do only good to those who go around it." Once Mudaliar was pestering Bhagavan on the same issue, and Bhagavan smilingly said, "Why are you so concerned with all these questions about the efficacy of going around the hill? Whatever else you may or may not get, you will at least have the benefit of physical exercise." Mudaliar scrupulously started doing circumambulation of Arunachala regularly, and every time he went, he took Bhagavan's consent. The master's way of giving his consent was to ask, "Who else is going with you?" Mudaliar would say the name of his companions, if any. Once, while responding to the same question, he said, "Bhagavan, today Bhagavan is accompanying me, nobody else." Bhagavan gave a broad smile and blessed him.